Hello everyone and welcome back to Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I'm One Wild Sheep and today we're going to take care of the boss, the Fugu Face-Off. And this is a water-based boss, so it's going to be quite tricky if you don't know what you're doing, so pay attention to what happens. And grab any Kong you want. I don't think it really matters. Dixie is my personal choice because obviously Dixie Kong is so useful in these sort of things. Alright folks, now welcome to the Fugu Face-Off. This is a very difficult boss fight, and trust me, it took me a good few attempts to get this boss down. Now to start things off, he's going to breathe in water, which will try to breathe you into him. And then breathe the water back out, which will try and push you into the spikes. When he starts rolling about, wait for him, the clear side of him, to roll towards you and then bash yourself into him. That is the only real way to damage him. Occasionally when he shoots water back out at you to try and push you into the other side of the wall, he will shoot out these little watermelon sort of things. Boop them back at him, which will cause him to be stunned, allowing you to get a free hit of damage onto him. Now this boss fight is extremely difficult. I consider this to be one of the hardest bosses apart from the final, so just take your time, be very careful, and make sure you know what you're doing. Occasionally when he breathes the water back out, he will also start shooting those purple projectile things at you with eyes. I still don't know whether they're meant to be fish or what, but he'll start shooting them at you. And when he does, dodge them. Occasionally he'll also try and ram into the walls. And when he does that, act like you normally do, hit the clear pot on his back, which will be the perfect time to hurt him. This boss fight does go quite quickly if you know what you're doing, but it can be really difficult. When he goes into supersize mode, what you're meant to do is actually go around him in a clockwise motion. So move from down to the left, to up, to right, to down, etc, etc. And this is the only way I've really figured out how to actually dodge this attack, because it is so difficult to actually dodge out of the way of. You get so little room for error. So be careful, take your time, and hope to God you don't ram into him like an idiot, like I just did. Also, be sure to collect bubbles as you go through the fight, because you have a limited air supply yet again. You still have to abide by underwater level rules, even though you're in a boss fight, so just be careful. And watch out, after a while he'll start shooting out some of the shells that are in the wall. But keep booping him whenever you get the chance, and there's not much more to the boss fight. We've pretty much seen everything he can do. A lot of cues to what his attacks are going to be depends on the size that he actually transforms into, so be sure to keep an eye on the size. But with that, that's him dead, so just boop him to get the final hit. I think I had hit 18 then, I didn't check. But it wasn't too bad a boss. Not bad at all. It really is the hardest boss in the game apart from the final, so you will probably have trouble your first time through. Well, it took me a good few attempts my first time, I'll be perfectly honest. But yeah, not a bad boss. So now we're going to move and have a quick sneak peek at the next world, and now it's time to get the secret levels of this world done. Oh yes, delicious. So World 5, which is actually pretty close to the end of the game. There are only 6 worlds, ladies and gentlemen, so we are almost there. Juicy Jungle's World 5 is actually quite a challenging level, which I can't really wait to get to, because that's where the game kind of tries to get interesting. Well, it gets interesting there, but it gets really interesting in the final world, which I'm not going to spoil, because it's something quite special. But anyway, for the secret exit, go back to World 4-1, and make sure you get Dixie Kong by this point in the level. Whenever you see an eel right next to a barrel, it basically indicated you're right by the secret exit. So what you're meant to do is actually keep swimming all the way to the end of the level as you normally would. And when you see some switches, like the 3 light switches you were meant to spin through before, or swim through, Basically, you're meant to hit them. I'll explain properly as we get to it, because this can be a very, very hard secret exit to miss, because, well, it's secret. So what you want to do is swim through this and go backwards. That's right, go backwards. Because doing that will actually open up a pathway straight upwards. So just go on up the pathway. This stream of water is why you need Dixie Kong, otherwise you will not be able to get out of this level. So boom, and that's the secret level pretty much complete. Can be very hard to find where you're meant to go there, so just if you're trying to play this legitimately without a walkthrough, I can see that being so difficult to find. It took me bloody ages to find that secret exit, actually. Gotta love secret exits, and they're really hard to find this. At least there's nothing like Castlevania 2 where you have to crouch on a wall and wait for a few minutes. That was just stupid in Castlevania 2. Another game which I will never LP. But anyway, 4A, the Rockin' Relics. So yeah, this secret level, I believe, actually is quite an epic level. The music in the stage is really awesome. I love it. Very foreboding. And you got a lot of relics in the stage that kind of remind me of Jak and Daxter in some ways. But what they'll do is basically they move the platforms upwards. Now be careful when you go in the water. You are able to go in the water underneath, but there are sharks in there, so if you want to go in there, be careful of the sharks. You need to dodge out the way of them. But basically time all your jumps. Whenever you see purple things on these platforms, the purple things will usually bounce up when the platform jumps. So that's your cue to basically maneuver onwards. But yeah, this is actually quite an interesting level. I do like it. It's got a couple of interesting mechanics, like that there with the bananas moving in and out to this vacuum sort of thing. And of course, everyone loves a good segment involving a ship, don't they? Those ships actually remind me of Donkey Kong Country Returns, because I believe there was a level similar to this in that game where you had to platform on a bunch of ships. I'm not entirely sure, I can't remember, but it all depends. It's been a long time since I played Returns, and I don't plan on going back to it anytime soon, because I was never that big a fan of it. So just be careful overall, and if you want to get to the secret area of this level, well, if you want to, this level also has a secret exit, I believe. And if you want it, you're going to want to go through this entire stage with Dixie. I think there is like 2 or 3 Donkey Kong barrels in the entire stage. And basically, as soon as you get Dixie Kong, try not to lose her, because you will need her to get the secret exit. I'll explain a bit more when we actually have to do the secret exit, but for now, don't worry too much about it. But to get that end symbol, you just wait for the ship itself to actually bounce up, and you should be fine. I have to say though, the actual background of this level reminds me of Rayman 2: The Great Escape, which was actually my next LP planned. It's not going to be my next LP now because of reasons. Basically, I'm having issues with cables right now. But basically, it reminds me so much of the intro sequence from Rayman 2. Rayman 2 was a fantastic game, by the way. I really loved that. Which is probably obvious because I was going to LP it. I only LP certain games, and they're either obnoxiously bad or obnoxiously good. Or I just think they're good games but underrated or something like that. Basically, if I like a game, I'll LP it. Or if I really dislike a game, I'll LP it. I'm still not doing Bubsy. I am not touching that. And yes, I do actually own a copy of Bubsy 3D. Cost me £2. Biggest waste of money I've ever bought. £2. But anyways, go back into the stage. Make sure you keep Dixie Kong up for this segment of the stage right by the end of it. And you see this owl back here. What you want to do is bounce off the owl when he's flying as high up as possible. Well, not so much as high up as possible, but when he's flying high up, grab onto the owl and try and fly up to this vine. This is a very difficult jump, so just keep ZR held down as long as possible, and you should automatically reach out and grab the vine. But that's that stage over and done with. Seriously, that secret exit, I do not like it. It is so tricky to do. But now we're on to World 4B, Shoal Atoll. That's another weird name. What's that even mean? Shoal Atoll. I don't know. But for this level in particular, you need to be careful. Because this level's a unique one in that there's no level like this anywhere else in the game. It's basically a giant maze. Yes, you heard me right, a giant maze. I'll explain more as we actually see the main mechanics of the maze, but to start things off, watch out. Be sure you pick those bananas up, because bananas are good. They're good for you, don't you know? They have lots of vitamins. I don't know what vitamins they are, but they have a lot of them. But anyway, you see these treasure chests by here? What you're meant to do is actually find keys hidden throughout this maze. And if you follow the route I'm going right now, this is the quickest possible route to get this level done. So just follow the route I'm going. Avoid that shark if you can. You know, it's really difficult to avoid. And by here is actually the first key, which is used to open up the red chest. And inside the red chest, what do we find? Well, it's something amazing. It's something glorious. It is a green key. Oh, it's delicious. So take the green key, and basically you have to swim through this entire massive maze, and it is very easy to figure out what you're meant to do up until the final segment of the maze, because then you have to go to a hidden room where it's just, why would you make everything easy up until now? Because trust me, it took me so long to figure out how to finish this level. Like the level, it took me, I basically got all the keys bar the last one, and I got stuck, I got lost, I had no idea where I was going. So basically, grab the blue key by here, and to continue onwards, what you want to do is actually open up this roof by here by collecting these bananas. This is where I got lost. I didn't know you had to do this, so I was just wandering around for hours until I drowned. But yeah, like I said, open up this pathway by here, and you keep swimming, and eventually you'll reach this segment by here where you have to swim down, dodging all the pufferfish. As you imagine, when the pufferfish are puffed up, you'll get hurt. So do that, and you grab the yellow key, which I believe is the last key you need. So grab the yellow key, and then you head your way back to the final room of this area. It's a short level. The entire length of this level is meant to be basically you searching around, but considering I know exactly where to go, it's literally about a minute or two just to finish. So swim all the way up to this last room in a minute. Now in a minute. God, you can tell I'm Welsh, can't you? I'll be there now in a minute. Whose coat is that jacket hanging on the floor there? But basically, open up this yellow chest, grab the purple key, and move on to this giant lock by here. It'll open up and allow you to actually progress further. Although I got quite stuck by here because the way this section works is if you're nearby a certain cone of the door, you will get sucked in, and I got stuck on the wall because obviously I was getting sucked towards it, and really difficult. Although I almost drowned there, that was lucky. But that's a stage, very quick, very easy, but very hard to do your first time around. So with that, that's basically all there is to this world now. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed. If you enjoyed, I appreciate a like or comment to the video. Don't be sheepish, people. When we return next time, we'll take care of World 5 in part 14. Thanks for watching. See you after. Bye!